Hello everyone, my name is B, and today we are talking about the Champions League quarterfinals second leg games, Real Madrid versus Bayern and Sporting versus Arsenal. I'm going to quickly go over Sporting versus Arsenal because it was the least eventful. Um, Arsenal received Sporting in the Emirates, and they do the Arsenal thing. They draw 0-0 after leading 1-0 away. So Arsenal go through to the semifinal to face Atletico Madrid, and Sporting are unfortunately out. The last Portuguese team has left the Champions League in the quarterfinal stage. Impressive. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make it through against a squad that you could definitely beat, the Arsenal squad, in my opinion. But onto the main event, the movie, the action packed thriller that was Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich. Um, Bayern Munich received Real Madrid at the Allianz Arena, and both squads are stacked to the brim with talent, potential. So the game starts off. Manuel Neuer, obviously, the experience that he has, you're going to go with him over the other goalkeeper that Bayern Munich has. But essentially, he's caught out of position. Arda Güler scores a long shot. Good for him. Great talent. We all know it. But then, not too long later, Bayern scores from a corner. So the game is on, already thrilling. In the first minute, out of the Guler made that, so it was what was it, 3-3? No, 2-2 on aggregate. And then Pavlovic scores from a corner, I believe, making it about 3-2 in favor of Bayern. And then about 20 minute goes by so that Arda Guler scores from a free kick. Um, Manuel Neuer gets to it, but he kind of just finds himself in the back of the net with the ball. Not long after, maybe 10 minutes after, Harry Kane scores. Classic Harry Kane goal. Harry Kane receives the ball in on the defensive line of the Real Madrid squad, but in between players, so he gets the ball, turns, and scores. Beautiful Harry Kane goal. Um, Maybe like 4 minutes after, Mbappe scores. Obviously Mbappe is gonna score. Very good talent. Very big game. He better show up. But the game goes on like that for a little bit. Essentially, Kamavinga gets double yellow card and he gets sent off, which is horrifying for Real Madrid. But not for the reason you expect it is. Obviously, if you asked anyone before the actual game started, who do you think's going through between Bayern and Real Madrid, they would say probably Bayern. Probably Bayern, just because they have a very good squad like Real Madrid, but they're not in the position that Real Madrid is in. That they haven't won a trophy in 2 years, and that they're not going to win their own league. They have Vincent Company as a manager instead of what is their interim manager's name? Arbeloa. I don't know if I said that, but excuse me. Essentially, why I think this is kind of shocking. Not for the fact of the refereeing. I know a lot of people complain about the refereeing. Like yesterday, I did, or last video, I didn't mention nothing about the refereeing in the Bayern Atletico or the Barca Atletico game, but um, essentially people online were like, how did they miss the Atletico goalkeeper accidentally touching the face of the Barca forward with the bottom of his cleat? Honestly, guys, it's a contact sport. It wasn't intentional contact, but contact was made. So I don't think a penalty should be given. That's a little bit childish to think that just because someone gets touched, a penalty should be given. But um, I guess it is what it is. People are gonna think that unless they struggle to understand that it's a contact sport and contact's gonna be happening, then I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, I wouldn't give a penalty for that for the touch from the goalkeeper on the Barcelona game. But what I saw in the Real Madrid Bayern Munich game was the Real Madrid players were kind of just trying to rage bait the Bayern players, kind of just frustrate them with whatever they could. Um, it was not working well. Um, there was an instance where I believe it was Vinicius Jr. kind of making a challenge on Joshua Kimmich and kind of just taunting him in his face. But Joshua Kimmich was about to react, or I think he did react, and then he just drawn back, and he was like, "Okay, this team is just they're not as good as us, but they're trying to play like they deserve more," which I would say is the problem of Real Madrid. Just because, like I said, in the first half, you were receiving like silly fouls from Real Madrid players, and they would, go on to the ref, talk about like, make gestures that they should be getting more fouls called for them. It's that kind of mentality that I would say finds um, Real Madrid where they are now. That the last 2 seasons they haven't won anything, and they just dropped out of the um, UCL with a double yellow card on Camavinga. Like that sums it up. Like you have players who aren't as good as they should be, but think they deserve more than what they're going to get, and kind of like a child, like a spoiled child who wants ice cream and the parent won't give them ice cream. They're gonna kind of whine, complain that they're not getting their way. And football's not like that. Football's not like a parent. Football is the beautiful game where you will probably get what you deserved handed to you by a team like Bayern Munich with the talent that they have. Because while Real Madrid were kind of complaining that they didn't get what they wanted to do, or that was a rough, double yellow that they didn't really deserve it, although they were making silly fouls consistently throughout the whole game. A Michael Elise will come along, or a Bayern Munich will put you in your place and just give you I would say the teaching that you need, because honestly it should be a wake up call for Real Madrid players, management, and fans that something's got to change, because these are supposedly the biggest team in Europe, um, but their tactic is to use dark arts, like there's some kind of underdog, but still you see that in their dark arts they believe that they are better than a Bayern Munich squad. They just beat them. What was it on aggregate? Beat them 6-4. Yeah, they're not. They're not better than that. Just because of the performance, like it was good play. Arda Guler kind of carried, but it was very tight. Very open ended, I guess, but it was very close. And really, that was the disappointing thing for me, seeing those Real Madrid players kind of behave in that manner, that they were trying to just um, tug, push, shove, whatever they could on the Bayern players, trying to antagonize them, but without to any avail. Um, the Bayern squad probably knows that they're gonna win this. They're already up by one at home or away from home, and yeah, that's really all there is to it. I feel like Real Madrid should reflect from this game, look at the footage, and notice their mistakes. If they really are the big club, the biggest club, then they should have no problem doing that. With sitting down and being like, okay, well, something went wrong last night. What was it that went wrong? Oh, well, we were trying to antagonize a team with a good mentality. You should probably give them some respect, just because they're not like I said, Real Madrid played with that mentality of a kid, trying to get ice cream from their parents, and the parents are like, no, you don't deserve it. You don't deserve it at all, just because you haven't put in no work, you haven't been disciplined at all, and it's very disappointing for anyone who's a Real Madrid fan. I'm not a Real Madrid fan, but I would say I would hold this team to a very high standard, just because they claim to be the biggest team, and they definitely have history. It's just at this moment is not a not a not a disciplined team enough to discuss. or to be in discussion for big. Um, like same thing with Arsenal. They like they have this um, what is it? A skewed mentality where it doesn't kind of reach what's actually happening in reality. Um, that's where you gotta like reflect and maybe get coaching from someone who's outside who can see the mistakes that you're making. Obviously, I'm not a Champions League winner. I'm not a manager. I'm not Jose Mourinho. But I'm just saying what I saw on the TV. There are definitely some silly fouls, some silly mentalities displayed outwards, and I think that's what's got to be fixed for Real Madrid to get back on track to where they should be. Champions, challenging for La Liga, challenging for Champions Leagues. Those things are what they are used to. The Champions League is their competition. But that was it for yesterday. Bayern will go against PSG, which will be a cracker of a game. That will be amazing. Um, Definitely tune into that one. And Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal is going to be great as well. Just because hard on ball tactics, and think about that. Whoever comes out of that PSG Bayern game is going to be, pumped up with energy. And if if Arsenal beat Atletico Madrid again, they're gonna either completely throw away this title, or hopefully they would have woken up by now. And I don't say woken up like in the sense that, oh, they're a sleeping giant. No, they're under the spell of being shit. That's what they're under. They're in a slumber, and their dream is that they're doing good when they're not really doing good in real life. Kind of like this Real Madrid squad. But yeah, who do you think is gonna go to the final? Is it gonna be um, Bayern Atletico Madrid? Is it gonna be PSG Atletico? Is it gonna be Bayern Arsenal? Let me know what your thoughts are. Um, who do you think is the side to win it? Let's say, regardless of what team goes through, where do you think the winner is going to come from? A lot of eyes on that PSG Bayern game, I would say for sure. But let me know what your thoughts on. Let me know if I missed anything. If you think that the Camavinga red card wasn't deserved, or if you think I'm wrong that Real Madrid should play like this because they are the biggest team. Yeah, I don't see how that's a possibility because they just lost to Bayern Munich. 2 seasons, no trophy. I just say that, like, I have no beef with Real Madrid. It's just, there's a lot of talk online that they're the biggest team in the world. No, I don't think so because the biggest team wouldn't be performing like this. We don't know who the biggest is. That's it for discussion, especially this season with the Champions League going on. But that's it for me today. Adios.